Welcome. And the question today from Royalty App is, what's one thing that made you say never effing again? And why? Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his llama pen, so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Oh boy, let's get ready for some drama. Felch McCavity answered with, attempting to catch my dog's poop in the bag rather than picking it up from the ground. Seemed like a good idea. Dog sharted up my arm. Had a long walk back home through my neighborhood covered in poop. Never again. Crystal Menthol followed up with, yeah, your dog probably thought it was weird, and said never again as well. B. Boise chimed in with, Lamau. But why though? In my 10 years of being a dog owner, this idea has never crossed my mind once. Maybe someday. Doubt it. Followed up with, this sounds like something I would do. It always seems like such a good idea at first, and I can't figure out why everyone isn't doing it this way. Then boom. There's a butt explosion and I'm on the bad end of it. Big Bo Brock 16 answered with, purchased a bag of 150 mint Mentos as a study snack. Got stuck into an assignment, and somehow ate the entire bag over a 12-hour period. Next day, my partner and I walked our dogs down to a cafe. Stomach becomes sore while we drink our coffee. I look to the toilet, but it's a busy cafe with a single toilet. Figure, I'll just wait to do my business back home, about a half-hour walk away. As we start walking back, I begin to sweat. Cramps become unbearable. Give my partner the dog lead and tell her I need to run. She doesn't know what's going on. I start sprinting, which then makes the stomach cramps so much worse. Realize, I'm not going to make it, almost crying from the stomach cramps. See a bush, can't hold it, pull pants down. Don't quite succeed. Poop, everywhere. Bush isn't concealed. Other dog walkers walk past and the dog runs up. Mortified. Still can't stop pooping. Partner sees me. My pug is happy to see me. Runs straight up and into my Mentos diarrhea. Haven't eaten Mentos ever again. It's a fun story now, but God did that day suck. Partner loves to bring it up at dinner parties. CPT Stupendous reacted with, does your partner now call you the fresh maker? Bucky LaRue chimed in with, runs straight up and into my Mentos diarrhea. Not a sentence you see often in your life. Laugh so hard. Tears in eyes. Dash. Masked Dude 1 answered with, yesterday, I was in a hurry and not being very safe and put a 1/4 of an inch drill bit through my hand. Could have been 100% avoided by taking even the slightest of safety precautions, but I was frustrated and rushing to finish. Never again will I not take the simple moment to do it correctly. Slovenry reacted with, how is your hand? Did you have to go to the hospital? Masked Dude 1 replied back with, yeah, I was rushed to the hospital. I had drilled into the bone, and that was the only thing that stopped it going all the way through the other side of my hand. I got lucky and didn't do any damage to the nerves, but they had to plug the hole before they could stitch it up. Mr. Weirdo Face followed up with, when I was 4 years old, my dad slipped and sawed off 4 of his fingers. I was the only one there at the time, so I had to put them in a baggie with ice and hang on to them. That was a bit traumatizing. I know someone will ask, so yes, they reattached his fingers, and he has partial control over them. He would have had more, but he broke them while they were healing when his hand got slammed in a door. Junior Senior Trainee reacted with, sounds like the universe doesn't want your dad to have fingers. Boss Cow 217 followed up with, God sending an angel down to remove his fingers. And do it right this time. Tomorrow is Tomato answered with, getting an endometrial biopsy. Worst pain of my life. If I ever get cancer, they can just take the whole darn uterus out. I'm not going through that again without anesthesia. Margot Fenring followed up with, cervical colposcopy here. My mom had to help me get to the car afterwards. I was white as a sheet. They said it wouldn't hurt, that was a lie. Oddly, the subsequent cryosurgery hurt much less. 16BH42069 reacted with. They lied to me too. This won't hurt a bit. AKA hang on for dear effing life. I screamed and the doctor and nurse looked at me like I was being dramatic. Geez. Mine was laser ablation, super easy peasy, no pain whatsoever. Just burnt flesh. TMI for you too. Edit, OMG, I was put under for the ablation procedure. I had no effing idea they could do that without putting you under. I'm horrified. Starsus chimed in with. The doctor tried the first time for about 10 minutes of me crying and trying to relax. Then sent me home and gave me a prescription for something to soften my cervix. And told me to take 1000 milligrams of Advil a few hours before I came back in. Followed the order, came back in for another 5 minutes of torture, at which point she said I've got an iron cervix, and they'll just try to get the biopsy when I'm out while they remove the cyst. Biatch, why wasn't that the first option? Crumb Diggity followed up with. I got a bone marrow biopsy in my hip once, and even with local anesthesia. It was one of the worst pains of my life. The sound of the drill didn't help. Deleted answered with. Making friends with people because you feel bad for them. Be nice, but no more than that is required. Pity is no reason to start a friendship, and it never turns out well. Neither for them nor for you. Delete obsolete reacted with. Pity is no reason to start a friendship. Or a relationship. Just some ramblings chimed in with. Poop. How do I delete someone else's comment before my girlfriend sees it? Hubba Bubbly answered with. My ex. We were giving long distance a shot. It was an on and off relationship for like 3 years. I traveled 18 hours to see him only to find out he had been cheating on me, and no one from his circle even knew I existed. I cried for a straight 18 hours bus ride, back home. Never effing again. Clown 1327 answered with. When I was like 11, I had some friends, the kids that lived next door, over, and we were just hanging out, playing video games all night. My mom ordered Papa John's for us. We tore the pizza up like the ravenous savages we were and continued gaming. That night the boy stayed over, while his sisters and little brother went back home. We go to bed that night, and at some point one of us, can't remember who, began to throw up, which woke the other one up. My mom rushes in and helps clean up the mess. Once the vomiting stops we go back to bed. But then before long it started again. Just like before, sometimes I was first, sometimes it was him. Sometimes we could get to the bathroom on time, sometimes we couldn't. My mother, the saint of a woman she is, cleaned up all of that vomit. Apparently things were no better at their house. To this day, some 15 years later, I refuse to eat Papa John's. I'm sure it was just a one-time thing, but once was enough. CLJ28J followed up with. Same thing happened to me, though it was KFC. I refused to eat it again, after being the sickest I've ever been, throwing up for 4 days straight. A few years later I was out with a friend and they wanted KFC. So I decided that it's unlikely to happen again and had some. The worst decision. I again, was so sick, I'll never ever eat it again. Macabre Jaguar answered with. Peppermint essential oil. Why? My darling spouse read online you could use it on lady bits to provide a tingling sensation. Decided to do so to me. Didn't read the bit about majorly diluting it first. The result? The sensation of 1000 fire ants biting my most intimate parts while simultaneously being submerged in lava. And since it's an oil, washing it off did jack poop. I sobbed in a half-full bathtub, whilst rubbing my cooch with a towel doused in vegetable oil, the remedy, according to the internet. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Never again. Touch My Rusty Spoon chimed in with. Oh God. You've reminded me of when I was about 17, I had a boyfriend who was a bit older but also a complete effing idiot. One day he offers me a full body massage, and I'm like sweet. As he's doing it, he tells me he's going to use Tiger Balm instead of oil. I asked what that was, and he told me it's what they use for massage in his culture. He's Chinese, I'm NZ European. I was like, okay, whatever. Next minute, I had that same sensation over my entire body, including my lady parts. Had an hour-long shower and I was still suffering. Chinese people do not put tiger balm all over their bodies. This guy used to say and do all sorts of dumb poop. And then would pretend it was Chinese culture, to avoid looking like an idiot. Dragon Trey answered with, living with a couple. Roommates suck in general, but 3 times in my life, I split an apartment with a couple and it was awkward at best. And truly miserable when they fought. La Llorona 13 followed up with, I currently live with a couple myself, and it's my first time and it effing sucks. I never want to do this again. Especially during quarantine. Forget about it. Edit, I guess my biggest issue is that, they are absolutely horrible together. And I have a feeling they don't want to break up out of complacency. So I'm always caught in their fights. I didn't move in to be a effing mediator or therapist for their poopy decisions. Mr. Buckstar chimed in with, same here, housemate's girlfriend is here 24/7 without any form of agreement. And it is driving me insane. Upstairs Cow answered with, meth. I was a hardcore amphetamine pill addict and said if it. One night and smoked a poopload of meth. I was up for 2 or 3 days, by the last day I was well into psychosis and left town. Stayed in a hotel room for a few days, to make sure I didn't become a meth addict. And to evaluate what the F I was doing with my life. I didn't stop the pills immediately, but I'm never effing doing meth again. And finally, Rusty L. Shackelford followed up with, I tried meth once. I never picked it up again because of how badly it scared me. Because it was that good. And I didn't even smoke it. I snorted some and my immediate thought was, I know why people get hooked. I felt like Superman. I was smarter, stronger, faster, etc. I could conquer all of my problems. Then my second thought was, how can I get more? And that scared me. I never touched it again. Opiates are just as dangerous but for a slightly different reason. That was like being wrapped in the warmest, dizziest blanket. Where none of your problems exist, and you can ignore them forever as long as you can get more. I may enjoy drugs but I refuse to touch either of those. Those will lead you to ruining your life fast. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.